Hello, I want to start by saying this is a topic I've been thinking about for a long time, and I take no joy in having to make this video. But there's some things regarding Worship Support Network that need to be discussed. Because some of this information is a bit negative, I've chosen not to include my name or any personal information. Thank you for understanding. I have been playing instruments as my profession since I was about 15, and at one point was decent enough to live on just being a musician in church on the weekend. All this to say only that I was familiar with the industry and the abilities God gave me. At some point in my career, I wasn't a part of any particular church and was looking for a way to continue making income with my gift. And through word of mouth, I heard about w.s.n. Worship Support Network is the broker between churches and worship production individuals. Churches pay w.s.n, and w.s.n provides contracted individuals to that church. On the w.s.n website, you have a couple options to sign up either as a musician or as a church. The sign-up process for musicians is actually one of the parts I appreciate. They are very thorough in how they learn who you are, asking for great detail about your spiritual walk. They also ask a lot of questions about what type of musician you are, for example. Are you comfortable playing gospel-style songs, or is CCM more your speed? Or do you want to play with in-ear monitors and to a click or nothing of the sort? Although they ask all these questions, it doesn't appear that they keep much of a record because they would constantly request me for places that if they looked at my profile, it would be a hard no. After that, you film an audition video or choose one from a portfolio you already have and send it to them. If they like it, you will get a second video call interview where they will go over most of the same questions in the application, as well as get connected with financial documents. Depending on a few factors like the church you're going to, the contract they have, and what you agree to, you can negotiate. You can expect approximately $100 to $180, but it can be a bit higher or lower. Now, this is definitely not enough to do very much with, even if you're out every weekend. This kind of pay works for the minor who lives with their parents and has no bills and is looking to further their skills and get used to the industry. So after accepting projects for a few years and adding on other jobs, it became clear I couldn't allow these projects much more of my time. I had a family to think about, and driving 45 to 50 minutes both ways for under $200 was getting old. So I ended up taking less and less projects until it fizzled out. Fast forward some years later, I have now gone from joining worship teams to running a worship department, and I found myself in need of vocalists and musicians, so I didn't skip a beat. I went straight to Worship Support Network and signed up as a church. When they sent me my quote, I was appalled. As I looked over the quote, I learned that someone in my position and most others were making 20 to 40% of what a church pays w.s.n. Don't get me wrong, I have no problem paying musicians what they're worth, but I'd rather take that broker fee and make sure the musicians get the whole thing. If you take a look at this pay chart, you'll see the acceptable rates to pay musicians depending on their experience and skill. After all, this is someone's livelihood. These individuals spend time learning and investing in very expensive equipment, and in any other industry, there would be monetary value for that. So obviously, w.s.n has a few flaws, but I do still recommend it to young, inexperienced musicians. For someone who has skill but no experience, this is where you can get it. Think of it as boot camp for the music business world. While you are working for w.s.n, make sure you are putting yourself in situations that further yourself. If the church or project in question does not work for you, then decline the offer. w.s.n is a business first, although they will use classic church guilt trip tactics. But remember, this is a business agreement. You should be recording yourself at every project, so you can check yourself and so you can build a portfolio for future work. Lastly, keep detailed records between you and w.s.n, as well as every church you visit. Take note of things like service flow, Are you able to leave after the worship set? Or do you have to stick around to the end? Did the church claim to have everything your position needed? Or when you showed up, was there 6% of what was necessary to do your job? Save each church in a folder with these details and give them a number score so that you know when you receive a project request, you can decide very quickly if you are going back to that church or not. I am guessing most of you, like myself, were unaware of the financial inner workings of the w.s.n system. Although what is being paid is most likely admirable and acceptable as payment to a musician, I would recommend doing business directly with the musician. Don't try to poach them from w.s.n just to have them volunteer at your church. Pay them what they are worth. To w.s.n, if any staff at the company come across this, I don't mean any harm or wish ill on anybody at the company, but your musicians and production workers deserve a whole lot better. It should not matter what size the church is. A musician's rates should depend on their experience and skill level. You as a company and us as musicians have cultivated an unacceptable standard, because I guarantee every Christmas, when the church decides to bring in that orchestra, those union musicians have a rate regardless of the church's budget. Thank you for taking the time to watch and honestly reflect on the topics of this video.